Happy New Year and welcome back to the BullHorn. Howard, hope you had a great holiday, but it's back to work. Let's get right into it. Some of 2010's hottest momentum stocks, things like maybe Netflix, Priceline, Google, Apple. What are people talking about in terms of the outlook for 2011? Repeat of last year or things changing?
A lot of people feel Apple may just have a bigger year. Apple only up 50% last year, but there is buzz about being the first trillion-dollar company. So I'm excited about that thought. Last time we had the talk of a trillion-dollar company was Cisco back in '99.
Didn't happen.
But Apple seems much more likely, if it's going to happen, to take the throne there.
Very good point. I mean, how long do you think it would take to get there? I mean, it just crossed $300 billion, so $700 billion to go is a long way, and that may seem just a little bit like the tech excess of the late '90s, just to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, you could play devil's advocate. James Altucher at J Altucher had a post, and it really was good in the sense that if you look at the iPad and how early this is, and you look at the Air, and you look at the iTunes Store, and then you look at the distribution that Apple has. For example, they have 2 stores in Chicago, and they could have 20. Mm-hmm. You're looking at a company could easily, over the next 3-4 years, double, if not triple, their distribution and sales. And then the math doesn't become so hard.
Right. No, I think, to be fair, Apple does seem to have a reasonable valuation, especially when you look at the gobs of cash on the balance sheet. What about some of the other momentum stocks from last year that don't have the balance sheet strength that Apple does and are trading at much higher valuations? I mean, Netflix comes to mind as a great company, great stock, but when you look at the price-to-earnings ratio, it's hard not to think that it's just, overvalued by a magnitude of, I don't know, $1 million maybe? I mean, it's just crazy.
The issue with Netflix is a stock that I sold in the 140s, and obviously I've been wrong. The issue with Netflix is there is much less pain to switch if another company can offer you those products. My kids, unfortunately, use websites that are over in India and China to see their movies. Mm-hmm. And so as much as they know Netflix, there's not that brand loyalty as there is to iTunes or there is to their iPhone. So, yeah, the Netflix, to me, seems the riskiest of last year's big home run.
Right. Quickly about some of the other big hits last year. I mean, obviously, Priceline, Baidu, Intuit, Google all come to mind, although I guess Google didn't have as great of a year, as some of the other hot tech stocks.
Baidu had the biggest year, obviously, with Google pulling out of China, and they really just didn't look back after that. When you get into an industry like search and social and basically have no competition, as Baidu had halfway through the year from Google, the stock doubled over a very short period of time on top of a large base. So Baidu is the story. I think the story of 2011 personally will be Google figuring their way back into China. Mm-hmm. And I think Google could be the surprise tech story of 2011.
Really? I thought Google was irrelevant because of that little Facebook thing. $50 billion valuation. I recently tweeted joking, is that in Zimbabwean dollars? I mean, come on.
The bankers will do what the bankers will do. You can't really stress about that. On the stream, we've had a lot of fun with it, as have you. But in reality, it is what it is. The gauntlet's been laid. There's hundreds of other niche businesses that could be bought. Google was the largest acquirer of companies last year. They have the most cash flow. They can do the most interesting and disruptive things with their cash. They're doing it from a position of their own balance sheet, not Goldman's balance sheet. Well, now it's Facebook's balance sheet. But at the same time, Google is dangerous.
Right.
And Google can do some damage in 2011. I've got my fingers crossed. It's fun. It's fun. They're less evil than Facebook, in my opinion. I was in Paris. I had a $50 club sandwich. At some point this year, we're going to have a $5 smartphone. If you can figure out how to invest to take advantage of those two trends, the $50 club sandwich and the $5 smartphone, that's the easiest way to make money the next 2 years.
I, for one, would love a $5 smartphone, but not so sure about the $50 club sandwich. That has to be.
If you're in prison, I'm hearing it's free smartphones are being smuggled
I can't
around.
use the expletives from Pulp Fiction, but that has to be one fine pig, so to speak, for a $50 club sandwich.
Yeah. It was pretty good. It was good, but you never forget it.
Some foie gras on the club sandwich there?
They're whatever you want,
There we go.
except extra turkey.